Hello, and welcome to Know a Way Around. Today, I want to talk to you about Christmas music. Now, this video is actually coming out a little bit later than I meant it to. Basically, I had the idea for this video like way back before Thanksgiving, and then I kind of just didn't make it, so, But I think that this is a video that is hopefully applicable all year round. So every year, when it comes around like December, not December, like September or thereabouts, and the weather starts getting a little bit chilly, a little bit brisk, if you will. In October, where I live, we get like our first snowfall. So when it gets to be about the wintry time, right, I notice that I have the urge to listen to Christmas music. Usually I start with the stuff that's more like general winter music before easing myself into the like really hardcore Christmas stuff like later in the year. However, I noticed that a lot of people are absolutely horrified by this, and usually what people tell me is a variety of things, but one of the things that I hear repeatedly is that they don't want to start listening to Christmas music before like December 1st because they get tired of it before they hit Christmas. I'm not out here to be like kicking anyone's shins for their music preferences. However, I think that just possibly, if your reason for not wanting to listen to Christmas music before December is that you're going to get tired of it, you just don't know how much Christmas music there is in the world. Like, there is a very large variety, and my family every year gets like new Christmas music. We always make like themed Christmas playlists, so I know that there is a lot out there. And I will be sharing with you today some of my top picks for Christmas songs that I think personally kind of break the mold. Now, my criteria for break the mold is like, have I ever heard it in a mall at Christmas time? Have I ever heard it in like, a grocery store or something like that? Does it fall on the spectrum of Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You to classic covers of Frosty the Snowman? And that's kind of my criteria. There are a couple of songs in here that are like iffy as to whether they really break the mold, but they were also good, so I just kind of threw them in. All of the songs that I feature in this video will be in a Spotify playlist I created. The username for my Spotify account / the playlist itself, all of that will be linked in the description. If I can figure out how to link things in descriptions, I will do that for you. And you will be able to go on there and listen to this stuff for yourself. There's one or two songs that are really archaic and I haven't been able to find, or not really archaic, that's not the right word. They're like, the covers are obscure. So I wasn't able to find like the specific cover. Those songs I will say like the name of the song and the artist in the description below so that at least you can go hunt it out for yourselves on YouTube or something. But yeah, let's get into this. I think this will be fun. Okay, so I divided this list into religious Christmas music and secular Christmas music. I personally am religious and therefore have a good old time listening to the religious stuff, but I understand that's not everyone out here. So I will try to give you a decent number of suggestions in both genres. Also, I listen to a lot of really archaic or old Christmas music, so a lot of these things are going to be like pretty out there in terms of age, but I think that's valuable. I really think that we will all benefit from this experience. Okay, so my top one, when I was writing this list 10 minutes ago, for religious Christmas music, specifically religious like traditional carols, is Noël Nouvelet. And my favorite cover of Noël Nouvelet is by the Vasari Singers. This is a traditional French Christmas carol, and it's a religious Christmas carol, but unlike a lot of like religious Christmas music, it was actually written not as part of like a mass or a church service. It was originally something that was like sung by families, like as a fun thing back in the days when you made your own music, according to a Google search that I did a few minutes ago. So that is my top one. It's really nice. It's like very classic and warming, and it's just the lyrics are very basic, like telling the Christmas story, but it's really pretty. It has a gorgeous tune, and the cover by the Vasari Singers is excellent. I cannot recommend it highly enough. Okay, so my second pick for a religious Christmas carol that I think everyone should listen to is Star in the East. And my favorite cover of that is by the Rose Ensemble. Now, Star in the East is like a really, really cool Christmas carol. It was originally an English carol, but this cover is really unique in that it is sung in a style of choir arrangement that is unique to the US. And it spread, obviously, but it was first developed in New England. And it was developed off of a style of shaped note singing, which I can get into in like another blog, but basically, or video, I guess, but basically, it's a style of choir arrangement that's pretty unique, and it's one of the cool, like, types of music that was originated in the US, which is neat, because a lot of my songs on here come from Europe, so, like, that's cool. Yeah, it's a really cool arrangement. Actually, this particular arrangement takes the original, first verse and turns it into the chorus, which is a little quirky. So if you want to know what the original sounds like, I'll try to find a cover of it and put it on my playlist, but honestly, my favorite cover is by the Rose Ensemble, so that's what's going to be on the playlist. That one is fabulous. My other, like, amazing, amazing religious carol that I force all of my friends to listen to is the Angel's Carol, specifically the John Rutter arrangement. John Rutter is, like, the king of doing traditional, like, religious carols in really cool arrangements, in a way that sounds, like, very much like kind of comforting choir music that you're used to, but also is like gorgeous and ethereal, which I love. I'm a sucker for ethereal choir. So Angel's Carol by John Rutter, and specifically John Rutter collaborating with the Gondwana Voices Choir. That one, it's amazing, it's gorgeous. Not to get too far into theology of Christmas music, but in the Bible there's a lot of themes about the birth of Jesus being like a light shining into a dark place. And this carol really uses the theme of light and dark and like peace, and especially like the darkness of nighttime being like peaceful and like the stars shining. It's very beautiful. It's gorgeous. Highly recommend. It's a really comforting song to listen to if it's like cold outside and wintry and you're sitting next to the fire drinking hot chocolate. Highly recommend. My final pick that I put on this list for religious Christmas carols is actually technically an entire album, but I will give you a specific song to listen to. It's just the entire album slaps like harder than any other Christmas album, basically. The album is Christmas by Michael W. Smith, and the specific song that I recommend is the Anthem for Christmas. Now, this album is definitely, the entire album is an art piece, like the songs aren't really super standalone, but I think Anthem for Christmas sounds really great on its own, and it's a really cool song. It also gets a little bit more into the theology of it, and it has a really dope piano solo, so I would say check that out. All right, moving on to secular Christmas music now. Yes, okay, so my top pick is actually two songs, and I will tell you why in a sec, but it is Old Toy Trains by Nana Muscuri. It's a very cute song just about, like, basically the story of the song is a parent or another adult trying to convince a child to go to bed and anticipating Santa bringing toys, and it's a really cute song. It has a very classic Christmassy sound, like there's a lot of, like, I'm pretty sure what is handbell use in there, but it's just really cute and fun and comforting, and Nana Muscuri has the voice of an angel, so I would highly recommend you check that out. And I also just added the French version because she sings in multiple languages, and the French version is possibly even better, but I know that some people kind of are like, want to know exactly what they're listening to, so I put both the French and English versions on the playlist. They're both gorgeous. Highly recommend you check them out. The second one is I Love the Winter Weather by Joe Stafford. This song is covered by a lot of artists in like the 50s and 60s, and the Joe Stafford cover, full disclosure, is not on Spotify. I could not find it on Spotify. I think the only reason I've heard that version is because my dad has like an actual CD that he bought years ago that he has played for me, and I don't know where you would find the song otherwise. You might want to check YouTube, but this particular cover is excellent. Joe Stafford has a really cool voice. She has a very 50s sound because that's when she was singing, and it's just a really nice, cute song about how in the wintertime it's easier to cuddle with your loved ones because it's cold outside. And it's just a nice song. It's really nice. I like it. My third pick is Marshmallow World by Darlene Love. This was a song from the 60s, very much in that kind of doo-wop era, and Darlene Love has a really cool sound, and it's a cute song. You've probably heard it, but I think it gets slept on. Alrighty. Speaking of Jingle Bells, I'm going to be a little bit hypocritical for a minute here because one of the songs I'm recommending is Jingle Bells. However, it is a sitar cover of Jingle Bells, and I personally feel like this tune translates really, really well to sitar. So Jingle Bells by Anthem, it is also on that playlist that I made, and I mean, technically it's kind of a basic song, but also it is actually an amazing tune, and it translates very, very well to sitar, so like, check it out. Don't knock it till you try it. Alright, my next one is December Snow by the Moody Blues. Now this song technically could be about any event that happens in the month of December, frankly. So it's a kind of a bonus because you don't have to stop listening to it after Christmas because it's also just kind of a winter song. It's kind of a like bittersweet song, but it's really pretty. And it's actually another one of my recommendations that's an entire album. If I'm going to recommend like an entire album with like good secular Christmas songs on it, there's also some kind of religious ones, but like good secular Christmas songs, I would recommend December by the Moody Blues. It's a classic. I grew up listening to the album. It really sounds like Christmas to me. And another good song from that album is Don't Need a Reindeer, which I was obsessed with that song when I was like 6 or 7, and I literally just sang it constantly. And I remember being at like my grandmother's house around Christmas time, and she would like convince me to sing it for her friends because it was cute and whatnot. So that song takes me back. It's a really good one, and the entire album is very nice, very atmospheric. I will say that the Moody Blues are like mixed for me personally in terms of like whether I like their music or not, but this album slaps. So, you know, there you go. All right. And then my final pick for secular Christmas music is one for all of you guys that really like the sound of like traditional Christmas carols or like choir music, and especially if you like Celtic inspired Christmas music. But you know, a lot of those are very like religious in overtones, and if you're not into that, I can recommend no higher album than In Praise of Christmas by Lorena McKennett, the Queen herself. And specifically the song from that album called In Praise of Christmas by Lorena McKennett, because it's fabulous. It's amazing. Yes, correction, the album is called To Drive the Cold Winter Away. I just looked it up because I had Spotify open. So anyway, feel free to comment below if you have a Christmas song that you think is slept on. Throw it in the comments. I would love to read about it. I would love to hear your opinions. Those are my picks. I kind of think that in general we get so used to the cliched, like, I'm gonna throw like some handbells in there and suddenly it's gotta be good music, genre of Christmas music. But there's actually some really, really cool stuff. And if, like me, you are a history nerd, the history of like holiday music, not just Christmas, but like any kind of holidays, is so cool and so filled with cultural meaning. I really hope you enjoy my recommendations, but even if you don't, I'm sticking to my guns on this one because I personally feel like it's a genre of music that gets dissed, and it's really sad. It's really sad.